Welcome to part 5 of our 6-part series. Now we're going to talk about all of Orange County's centrally located cities. So let's get started. So here we are in Orange County, and we're going to focus on the centrally located cities except not Irvine.
Which is the centrally located city.
Yes, Irvine is the center of Orange County, but Irvine, it's on its own. We know that everyone loves Irvine, so we're going to do a video all about Irvine on its own. So subscribe, you can watch that video, or honestly, just go look on our channel. We have so much stuff about Irvine, it's insane. But yes, Irvine is definitely the center of the county, and it's where, you have the majority of the jobs are in Irvine. I wouldn't say majority, but the largest concentration of jobs is in Irvine at the Spectrum Center. You got it at UC Irvine. You've got it in the airport area right here, part of Irvine, Santa Ana, and Costa Mesa, and Newport Beach. You've just kind of got it everywhere.
But you know what? That's for the next video.
That's for the next
video. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry.
Yeah, but if you are looking to basically be living around these very centrally located areas and these job hubs, being centrally located is a good option to do that. And one of our favorite cities that's very centrally located is Costa Mesa. Costa Mesa is an awesome city, and one really, really cool part about Costa Mesa we'll talk about. We're not going to belabor the point because we do have a tour of all of Costa Mesa, but if you're talking about the most centrally located and the easiest to get around of the entire county is this South Coast metro area, which includes parts of Santa Ana and Costa Mesa, because you have the 405 freeway here, you have the 55 freeway here, you have the 73 freeway, which is not toll at this little part right here, and you have the 5 freeway up here.
And John Wayne Airport's right there. So
yes.
Actually to get around. So I know that there is also the Orange Crush area that has a ton of freeways as well.
Yeah.
So Orange County is kind of blessed with a lot of freeways. Mm-hmm. However, I think what tips the balance for this particular pocket being so accessible is because it's right next to a major airport.
Yeah, it's just everywhere in the county, because you have so many of these freeways just right here, it doesn't seem that far away. Of course, the 55 is awful. It's always crowded. But, even with that, it's kind of amazing if you're at this little pocket right here, just how easy it is to get around the county, whether you are on the freeways or using side streets. And
also, what I'll say is that I was a bit hesitant to have Costa Mesa be deemed a central city, because if you look at where the size of it and kind of how far inland it goes, mm-hmm. It really isn't all that far off from Huntington Beach, as a matter of fact. Huntington Beach goes about that far inland itself, so It's almost like I know people are going to go like Costa Mesa doesn't feel like a central city, and I kind of get that, to be honest. So, but it is. I mean, obviously, it's not on the coast. That's why you didn't have consider it as a coastal city, but it has, especially some pockets of Costa Mesa, have a very coastal vibe to it.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, this is just how we're using it just to break up the county so that we're not giving you a 2-hour-long map video. Of course, the center is just kind of like right here, right? Which includes parts of South County. But if you saw our South County video...
We already did that.
Yeah, and South County kind of has its own vibe. It's all the master plan communities, right? And, if you're in Orange County and you know the nomenclature, South County is all the big master plan communities, kind of took Irvine and then ran with it, right? Whereas Costa Mesa, it's much different because it's not all the master plan communities. It's got a lot of communities that are super cute and eclectic. So it doesn't feel like South County, even though, it could be considered a little bit north, I would say.
So before we continue, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Sean Dezad.
And I'm Courtney Dezad.
And we're licensed realtors here in the state of California. And if you're watching this channel, you might be thinking, wow, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the glitz. I love the glamour. I love the blue skies. I love the perfect weather. I can't wait to move in here. Now, the problem is I'm not local. I may be out of state. I may be even out of the country. So I don't know what to do. And I totally get that. That's why you reach out to us. So we can have that conversation, really finding out specifically what you're looking for. We can be your boots on the ground. We can do tours of the properties and the neighborhoods as well, and really find that perfect home for you. And also, when you do come out here, your time is spent super efficiently because we already did all the hard work. So feel free to either give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.
And because of how conveniently located it is, and kind of the weather and all that other stuff, because of how much it has going for it, Costa Mesa does not come cheap.
No,
so
it doesn't.
Costa Mesa is a pretty pricey city, even though it's not on the coast, and even though it doesn't have an Irvine name to it. You're going to be paying a decent amount to live in Costa Mesa, but it is a fantastic city. It does have variations to it just because it is an all master plan like that. So you have, again, just how Costa Mesa is set up. But again, I love Costa Mesa. I think it's a great city, great shopping and dining options, great, just obviously very close proximity to everything. It's right next to a bunch of job hubs itself. So it's, again, pound for pound, it really is a fantastic city.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's obviously right next to Irvine and all those job hubs there, as well as the South Coast Metro area.
And right next to Newport.
Right next to Newport Beach. Yeah, so you've got, South Coast Metro job hub there. You've got the Newport Center job hub there.
Airport area.
Obviously got the airport area, tons of jobs like all around here.
And then, all the Irvine stuff.
All the Irvine stuff right
UC
here.
Irvine stuff.
UC Irvine right here. So
it's just a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of commerce here, which is, it's one of the reasons that Irvine and Costa Mesa are so expensive, because it's so convenient and you don't really have to drive that far, because obviously nobody likes traffic. So.
And again, I know we split hairs, but Costa Mesa's weather is fantastic. Even though it doesn't technically touch the coast, it feels like a coastal city. Like, so that's where you're kind of like, and a lot of times actually people will say that Costa Mesa technically has better weather than even Newport.
Especially like here or like east side Costa Mesa area. Yeah,
because the marine layer that we get in the summertime, it's not thick fog, it's nothing crazy, but again, it is overcast skies, so it burns off a little bit earlier in Costa Mesa than it does in, let's say, Newport. So you know, depending on how you look, again, we are splitting hairs, but Costa Mesa's weather is every bit as good as any coastal city. I'll just leave it at that.
It is weird. It is kind of weird how Costa Mesa itself, it just feels a couple degrees cooler than everywhere else.
It's awesome.
Yeah, even in Irvine, it you could be right here in Irvine and you're like, it feels kind of hot. And then you're here and you're like, oh, it's perfect. I don't know why. It has its own weather.
And it gets sea breezes too.
Yeah.
So it's, Costa Mesa's fantastic. Again, long story short, there's a reason why it's as expensive as it is, because it just has a lot of things going for it. But yeah, it is a fantastic city. Yeah.
So here's Fountain Valley. The motto of Fountain Valley is Fountain Valley. It's a nice place to live. That kind of just explains it.
It is, and it's a great city. Again, it's kind of not quite as close to the coast as Costa Mesa is, but it's still pretty close, and it's very convenient to get to. Again, it's right off the 405 freeway. It runs right through it. It also has a unique aspect as far as, again, California is concerned, is that you have literally a square mile park called Mile Square Park, and it's 1 mile by 1 mile by 1 mile by 1 mile. It's a huge park that's about 640 acres or 1 square mile.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so you have, it's known for really good schools according to niche.com. It's very centrally located. It's got a Costco, most importantly. So it's just got a lot of things going for it as well. It's not the job hub that, let's say, Costa Mesa is right next to, but I mean, you're very close by.
Yeah,
so
you're very close.
You're right there.
I think the average time that people hold on to their homes there, what is it, about 42 years?
It's a long time. People love them some Fountain Valley. Like people hold on a long time. And that's not in Orange County. We're gonna get some other pockets that are also very similar from that perspective. People don't let these things go. I mean, they're kind of like family heirlooms, basically. They're passed down from generation to generation.
They are. And then let's go to Westminster next. So fairly small city, very residential, similar to Fountain Valley in that it's just very residential. There's not much there in terms of like tourist attractions or anything like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say tourist attractions. Yeah, a ton of residential. They have actually a good amount of shopping and dining options for sure. They have the Westminster Mall, which it used to be, I think, a bigger deal than it is now. It's not as big of a deal as it used to be. So we've seen malls consolidate to the mega malls, right? Yeah. So in Orange County, you have the Irvine Spectrum, you have South Coast Plaza, you have the shops at Mission Viejo, you have
so if
those are your major ones, I would say.
Yeah. So
and then Fashion Island too, of course.
Yeah. So if you're in this particular area, I'm assuming that you would be going to like South Coast Plaza. That's like the big mega mall of all of Orange County, really. I mean, it's a huge just mall, and it's very close to Westminster.
Yeah, but Westminster has a ton of strip malls and all of those. And also, so it's really nicely located. If you see where it is, it's right next to the 22 freeway and the 405 freeway. And even though the 39 isn't a freeway, it's actually Beach Boulevard. It's a pretty major thoroughfare. Actually, in fact, all these little grayed lines are huge thoroughfares. I mean, so it's really easy to get around.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Westminster has a ton going for it. People really like it a lot.
You let me go to Garden Grove next. Again, we're kind of like getting to North County. I mean, it's
still central.
It's still kind of central. I mean, you're getting close to the North County border, which is like right around here, right? So, we gotta get La Habra in there. But like La Mirada, that's LA County. Cerritos is LA County. Long Beach, obviously, that's LA County.
But you know what? So Garden Grove, again, lots of freeways right next to it. So you have the 22 freeway running right through it, the 5 freeways on one end, and the 405 freeways on the other end. So it's flanked by both major freeways of Southern California. So very easy access. This is a very common theme through Central Orange County. It's just, very easy freeway access. Tons of residential stuff. Lots of retail for sure. There's lots of strip malls and that kind of thing as well. And in fact, you know what they got?
2 Costcos?
So they have a special Costco. I didn't even know these existed. Me, who loves Costco, I was showing a property there about a couple weeks ago, and I was going, oh, I see a Costco. Of course I'm going to go to Costco if I have a moment of time. So I was like, okay, I'll go into the Costco. And they had a business center Costco. And I was like,
what is that?
I know. It was blowing my mind. I was like walking through there. I was going, they had like restaurant like supply stuff. They had actually commercial restaurant like appliances and all these huge bulk items. And I was going, what kind of manner of sorcery is this? And it was a business center Costco. So, the more you know. I did not even know they existed. And I actually asked someone, I was like, what kind of Costco is this that work there? He's like, I didn't even know these exist. He was a worker there. He's like, I didn't even know they exist until I started working here. And I guess this is a business center Costco. So you got that one right here in Orange County in Garden Grove.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Mind blown.
So let's go to Anaheim next, which includes Anaheim Hills, even though that's technically, is that a census district or is it part of Anaheim? It's hard to say.
It's a very different vibe than the rest of Anaheim, to be honest. Like, Anaheim is the most populous city in Orange County. It's a big city, so it's a very big mix of. It's just, hit and miss kind of stuff. Like, so Anaheim Hills is really awesome. And then Disneyland's in Anaheim. You have you have the major sports teams. So the Ducks, which is a hockey team, as well as the Angels, which is a Major League Baseball team, they're actually located in Anaheim. So this is our entertainment hub. Like, this is kind of where everything happens as far as the entertainment stuff happens in Anaheim. And it's also it's a big job hub in and of itself because obviously, they have a lot of office complexes. They have a lot of, obviously with the amusement parks and that kind of stuff. So Anaheim is just, it's like the one, I would say, really like feels like a big city that's in Orange County itself. And again, with big cities, with that kind of population, you'll have some areas that are like, nicer than others. That's just kind of like the reality of it. And what I always recommend to people is, this is like with crime and safety or just comfort level in general. Obviously, do your research. There's tons of resources, whether that's the city websites where they might show you some more granular statistics. But on top of that, it's like, if you're kind of interested in certain pockets, you drive to those areas at different times of the day and in the evening as well. Really kind of get a feel of how that feels for you because, when it comes to comfort, crime, safety type stuff, it's very subjective. And what I might think works for me may not work for you. So that's where I kind of, this is at the end of the day, this is where, you would be living. So this is one of those places where I would definitely kind of go, because it's hit and miss, just because it is a big city, you just kind of have to do a little bit of legwork for sure.
And now let's go to Orange next. And Villa Park is a little city inside Orange, and
completely surrounded
by Orange. It's kind of weird. It's very, very cute in there for sure, but it's just very small, and it's pretty much just homes, right? Homes in there. And Orange is interesting because, most people think of Orange County, everything's, 1950s and later. South County is 1990s and later. So you've got to get this feeling of everything's new. Orange is one of the only cities, probably also Santa Ana and parts of Santa Ana, where they kept a lot of the historic buildings. So downtown Orange is a historic district. I don't know, it's very historic even in terms of California. So they're one of the few cities that didn't demolish everything that maybe some of the other cities did.
And I know that Orange is kind of a little confusing because you think of Orange as, okay, if it's Orange County, Orange must be the county seat. Like it's named after the city. Actually, in fact, from what I did a little research on it, it looks like the city was named after the fact, and they were trying to make Orange the seat by claiming the name. The name. It didn't really work out. I mean, it's obviously there's plenty of government stuff there, but it's not the county seat. That's actually San Diego, which we'll get to in a moment. But yeah, Orange itself has got lots. Actually, it's got a good amount of shopping. Like it's got a good amount of dining options. It's got really good dining options, and then it also has a lot of residential. As we get to Orange Park Acres, which is right next to obviously the Cleveland National Forest, that's where you get more larger homes, larger land. Again, it's right next to Anaheim Hills here. It's very close to Yorba Linda, so you kind of have that similar type of feel. You may have some equestrian property options. Again, this is one of those things that we brought up before, and we'll get to when we talk to North Tustin as well, is that it is higher fire risk, possibilities there. So because you are right next to unimproved land, which tends to be, if there's a fire, that tends to be that tends to be the area that burns potentially. If there is going to be damage, it's going to be there most likely. So it's one of those things where, like you can reach out to us. We'll give you a copy of the fire map for the Orange County Fire Authority, just to give you a sense of is it elevated risk? What's the situation? Because it honestly is. It could be like literally house by house depending on what it is. And so, but yeah, Orange itself, really like it. Again, very easy to get to. So you have the 91 freeway right above it, the 57 freeway, the 55 freeway, the 5 freeway. I mean, you got a lot. You got a lot of options to get in and out of the city of Orange for sure.
Yeah, and if you are in the medical industry, there's a lot of medical in Orange
true.
as
a good
well.
point. Yeah, there's actually several hospitals, like famously Children's Hospital of Orange County, so CHOC for short. That's what the locals call it, just so you know. The more you know, right? So, but CHOC is obviously located in Orange. You have several other hospitals as well. This is a very popular spot. Like when we get doctors reaching out to us, they kind of want to be close to Orange because, or within Orange itself, because again, proximity, right? Sometimes they're on call.
Yeah.
And then Villa Park. I really like Villa Park a lot. Villa Park is a really nice city. These are kind of good sized homes, like large homes. A lot of times you'll find actually single level homes that are large, which is kind of tough to find because obviously usually they want to go multiple stories, right? But if you want a ranch style home, but you want a big home like 3,000 square feet or something, Villa Park is a really good option to find some of those homes. It's not going to come cheap. I mean, it's not going to come cheap, but you might have half acre plus size lots, bigger homes. People again hold on to this area. These don't sell that often because again they just get passed down. They're just people really like Villa Park a lot. And then as we're going down here, we'll go to North Tustin. This is again we're kind of like same disclaimer as what we're talking about in Orange, is that you kind of have more fire risk danger, but these are homes that are noted for. It's very hilly terrain here. Actually, driving through here, it's kind of really interesting. It's very residential, unlike some of the other places. So North Tustin's very residential, very hilly. You have opportunities for views, for land, equestrian properties, larger homes, like very large homes actually, and it's actually pretty good value for the larger homes. I find North Tustin is one of those really good values. If you want a big home on a big lot, North Tustin is and at a reasonable, quote unquote, reasonable price. North Tustin is one of the best options in Orange County.
Yeah, in North Tustin, it's a census district, but it kind of has its own feel, just very hilly, like Sean was saying, with big homes, equestrian properties, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's people conflate it with Tustin itself. It's separate.
Yeah. And then next is Tustin. This is right next to Irvine. Sean really likes to suggest Tustin for people that are interested in Irvine as just a place to check out. It's actually a really interesting city because there's so many different variation to the neighborhoods.
Yeah, if you want something old, something medium, something new,
yeah,
Tustin may be for you. See, I made that rhyme right there. So basically it's really interesting because like Tustin itself, you have Old Town Tustin, which is kind of a downtown. It's older homes, like circa 1900, early 1900s, right? Or something, when some of these are built, which for, again, I know some of the people from the East Coast are like, that's not new, but for us, that's not old. Yeah. For us, that's ancient, so right? So it's like so old. Yeah, so in general, this is Old Town Tustin area. So this is where you have just really cute older homes, like and some of them have been restored really beautiful. Some of them haven't, of course. So it's just that's kind of how these things go. But you'll have really good shopping, dining options. There's some bars and that kind of stuff. So it's a really cool place from that perspective. So you're going, okay, Sean, I don't want something super old. I kind of want a South County feel to it. Well, we have you covered with that one too. So we have Tustin Ranch area.
Yeah.
So Tustin Ranch is really awesome because it feels very South Orange County, circa 1980s, 1990s, where you have a different shade of beige, very very popular here.
Yeah.
And Tustin Ranch is really, I really like Tustin Ranch a lot. It's very convenient access. It's got a Costco right there. It's got the Tustin Marketplace right there, which is a big mall in and of itself. Yeah, and it's a pretty big mall. You have a lot of different shops there. Actually, on the other side of Jamboree Road is the Irvine Marketplace, which is basically the same thing, similar theme. In the Irvine Marketplace, it's a Tustin Marketplace. It's just actually one big mall, just kind of Jamboree just separates the two cities. And
so this is Jamboree, and if you notice, this is Irvine right here. So this part of Tustin, very similar to Irvine.
Very, shockingly similar. They get a lot of similar vibes. So people really like Tustin Ranch a lot. I really do like Tustin Ranch. I think it has a lot to offer. And then if you want something new, which is again not pretty rare in Orange County itself, you have Tustin Legacy. So this is like the district in Tustin, the district in Tustin. So this has its own Costco as well in this area, and this is stuff that's actually new. This is stuff that was built fairly recently. And again, it's very conveniently located. So if we pan back a bit here, it's actually it's hard to tell where if you're in Irvine or not, kind of thing, if that's what you're looking for. And you're really right close to Irvine's right there. The 55 freeway is right there. The 405 freeway is a really close shot because actually Barranca's right along here. You get there very quickly. I think this is Jamboree. So you just and then you have Red Hill right here. So you have it's very convenient access for new construction, because typically new construction in areas that have been developed are in the outskirts, so way out in the boondocks. Whereas here, because this is a decommissioned marine base, that basically they just took it out and just redeveloped it for new construction. So Tustin's pretty awesome. I really like it a lot. It's one of my very quick alternatives to Irvine if that's what someone's looking for. And then finally, then to kind of round this all out, we have the city of Santa Ana. Again, there's a lot of similarities to Anaheim from the perspective of this is the second most populous city in Orange County, and it's if you look at where it is, very centrally located. It's a big job hub, multiple parts in and of itself. So South Coast Metro, which it shares with Costa Mesa, you have South Coast Plaza itself, which is one of the mega malls. This is on one of those destination malls. There's also a lot of office buildings right in this vicinity between Costa Mesa and the Santa Ana side. And then also in this area, you have downtown Santa Ana, where this is the county seat. This is where you have the county courthouses, all the county recorder's office, the assessor's office, all the county stuff is in this area right here. So this is a pretty big job hub itself. And then, with any big city, you have huge variation, in this as far as hit and miss or flavors. So you'll have this area up here has kind of got feels like an orange flavor. This might feel like more of a Garden Grove flavor. This has more of a Costa Mesa flavor to it. So it just kind of depends on where you are in Santa Ana, depending on what you're looking for. And this is one of those things where, again, like Anaheim, you want to drive to if you're kind of zeroing in on a specific pocket, do some research, find out from the city websites, as well as, like niche.com or these other websites that are out there. But on top of that, drive to these different areas at different times of the day or the evening to make sure it's comfortable for you, because at the same time, you want to make sure you're comfortable at the end of the day. And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California. So as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.